Coffee and convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. Get those likes up, wipe them feet. Also hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. We're doing the show a little earlier than we usually do. My lift will probably be here in about 45 minutes, 45 minutes. So this isn't going to be a long live, you guys. Just wanted to tap in with the nation before I got on this flight heading out to Indy. We'll be out there tonight, actually partying it up downtown Indianapolis. Me, my brother Jason, my brother B, my brother Stu. We'll be out there rocking. So if you guys are around, make sure you pull up downtown Indy. There's a bunch of Raider parties out there going on tonight. We will be active. But yeah, I know it's very early on the West Coast. But once again, wanted to get a little 45 minute show in before we got out of here. So salute to everybody here in the building. I see my boy Spivey already. James Bowles, Nada, Green Dot Gang is heavy in the building. OJ, Dangerfield. Salute to all my people here, man. The Bourbon Raider, James Powers, Herman Munster. Salute. I see Raider Travis in the building as well. It's always good to see my guy. Once again, you guys get those likes up, hit that subscribe button, and also salute to everybody listening also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You guys have been a blessing in disguise for the brand. Salute, salute, salute to you guys. As always, 24 hours with the Godfather Graphk. Enrique, we're going to be live uploading a ton of content. So make sure to stay tapped in. Hit that notification bell because I'll be doing a live with Stu. We'll have B involved. I believe Stu and Captain Jack are coming to pick us up at the airport like around 7 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll be doing a bunch of stuff. So stay tuned, you guys. The content is going to be crazy this weekend, man. So salute to My Sports Reviews. Have a good time, bro. We face y'all Sunday. Good luck, my guy. I don't want to say good luck to you because I definitely think that we need this win more than you guys. I appreciate you, my brothers, so much. Thank you for the kind words. But I will be lying to myself if I said good luck to you because guess what? You don't need this win. You guys can move on and be 3-2. We need this desperately. If we lose this game, essentially our season is up. So My Sports Reviews, much love, brother. I will give you kudos moving forward after this weekend. We need this dub more than you guys, specifically, out there on the East Coast in your place where you guys have Jonathan Taylor, the best running back in football right now. So it's going to be fun to watch that Ashton Genty, Jonathan Taylor battle, man. Hopefully we can get the ground game going without Colton Miller in the mix with Stone Forsyth at left tackle. So, Enrique, we will be going over the injury report here in a second. So stay tuned for that. Definitely not a ton of news out there, you guys. We're going to go over what's out there right now. Once again, it's not going to be a long live. There's not a ton to talk about leading into Sunday, man. So my sport, it's all love, bro. It's all love. Definitely respect. Definitely respect. You know what? Salute to my guy, John, as well. Always good to see my guy, Raider John, here in the building. Salute. Tommy says, Graphk, 2 words for you for the loss. Stone Forsyth. Don't you put that into the universe, Tommy. Don't do it. Enrique talking about don't forget about indoor Gino. You talking about the guy that has thrown 6 interceptions indoors this season and 2 touchdowns to go along with those 6 turnovers. Yeah, man, I think I like my odds of him playing better outside, the Commanders game. I think he had 3 touchdowns, all of them to Trey Tucker, 0 picks. He had 1 pick in New England, a nasty one where he threw to Bowers there in like double, triple coverage on the boundary. But yeah, man, I'm kind of more comfortable watching him play outside, which is kind of crazy because I'm not comfortable watching him play at all right now, to be honest with you. Desert, man, I think that Xavier Howard is actually ducking that Trey Tucker smoke. I think that he's seen him on the menu and was like, you know what, man, let me go ahead and get out of here. For those who have no idea what Desert is talking about, Colts starting cornerback, I believe at this point, former Pro Bowler, spent with the Indianapolis Colts for 4 games this season. He just up and retired, citing that, he wants to put his family first for the first time in a long time, which I definitely admire, definitely love it. Family over everything. 32 years old. The corner has officially retired right before we faced them. So they're going to be a little thinner at the cornerback position. Hopefully Geno can take advantage of that. Once again, I wasn't expecting Xavier Howard at 32 years old to be, this lockdown corner out there facing whoever he was going to target, whether it was Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, whoever. It could have been Jack Bech. I don't know who it was going to be. But, some news out there that Xavier Howard, former four-time Pro Bowler, I believe, in Miami, where he spent the majority of his career before heading over to the Colts, has abruptly retired. He said that my purpose has been fulfilled in this sport, but my kids are more important to me than football. I've had a hell of a career, and even though it's ending in a unique way, I'm cool with that because for once I'm putting my family first, and I'm proud and excited about that decision. So salute to Xavier Howard, man. Retired right before we faced the Indianapolis Colts in their place. So hopefully Geno can take advantage of, that side where Xavier Howard was manning before he abruptly retired. So yes. So once again, you guys, Xavier Howard is officially retired. That group gets a little thinner at the cornerback group for the Indianapolis Colts as our Raiders are heading out to face them in Indianapolis this weekend. So Gabriel says, Jack Bech game, have to get him involved. 6 receptions, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns. Let me say this. I believe in Bech. Love Jack Bech. You guys know this. I'm one of the only people who had the Raiders drafting him in this last class. I mean, in pretty much every mock draft, in my final mock draft, we took Jack Bech in the 3rd round, the beginning of the 3rd round, which we kind of moved back a few times in the 2nd and got him kind of at the tail end of the 2nd round regardless, right? That is kind of jumping the gun here, Gabe. I would love to see him have 6 receptions, 84 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But I would be okay with just getting him, targeting him 5 times and getting him over 50 yards, 60 yards in the air. I think that's a tall task, for Jack Bech to go out there and almost put up 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's just find a way to get him involved. I'm not going to put a crazy number on it, but I would love to get him at least 5 to 6 targets, Sunday and potentially get him over 50, 60 yards. I think that is, kind of the space where we can potentially find Bech if they find a way to get him involved. You know what I mean? So slowly but surely bring him on. We've seen in just here and there what he can do, 1 catch for like 23, 24 yards, another big first down on the boundary, keeping both feet. We know what he can do. We just got to find a way to get him involved. But once again, I'm going to slowly but surely have the numbers go up once we start to get him involved. Once again, 5, 6 targets, and then we can go from there. Salute to my guy, Gabe, but I would love that. I would love that. Yeah, that's a lot for Bech. We definitely need to see him. This is facts. And we got to get other guys involved too. We got to get Dante Thornton involved. Tucker's been heavily involved in this offense. We'll go over Brock Bowers here in a second as well. For those who are worried about him missing practice, we'll go over that here in a second as well. Just Raiders Baby says 3 or 4 targets is ideal. Facts. I'm just I'd be a little more excited. I'd be ecstatic if they gave him 5 to 6 targets. Maybe 3 or 4 catches. I would love it. I would love it. All I want for Christmas is for Geno not to throw picks. Mando, this is factory outlet, brother. Factory, man. Salute to you on the $2 smackaroni, man. Appreciate you, man. Look, we got blew out without Geno throwing the pick against the Commanders against a bunch of backups. So we've seen this team lose even when Geno had 3 touchdowns and 0 picks. So once again, man, we just got to have this thing rolling at all 3 levels of this team. Special teams, we have to keep it, limit the penalties, limit as much yardage as you're allowing these guys to return. The defensive side of the football, let's get some more turnovers. Let's get to the quarterback. The Colts have a really good offensive line. I believe they're a top 5 ranked offensive line right now. That's why Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor have been able to do, what they've done up to this point. They have a really, really good O-line out there in Indianapolis. So I'm hoping that someone opposite of Maxx Crosby can put some pressure on the other end and allow Max to get freed up a little bit come Sunday. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough task, man, to get past that O-line. Indianapolis, they always seem to put a pretty good O-line out there, and once again, this year is no different. So salute to my guy Mando, man. Let's go over this injury report real quick, you guys, for our Raiders. Maxx Crosby popped up on the injury report, which is kind of scary because he was a full participant Wednesday. And then he was limited in practice yesterday with the knee injury. And this is kind of crazy because former Raider Gerald McCoy, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer great, tweeted on Sunday, "Oh no, I see," something along these lines of, "I know Max very well, and something happened, whether it was his ankle or his knee. I can tell by his mannerisms." I believe those were the words verbatim that he used. "I can tell by the mannerisms it's an ankle or a knee injury." Kind of crazy. A lot of us were like, "Whatever, Gerald, you're tripping," whoop, whoop, whoop. And then boom, he's limited yesterday with the knee injury. I'm still expecting Maxx Crosby to go. We'll get a better idea where he is today, but he was limited in practice yesterday with a knee injury. Eric Stokes, our starting corner, dealing with that knee injury as well, sprained knee, was limited Wednesday and Thursday, but it looks as though he's slowly getting to, being a full participant. We'll know a little later on today, but we need him desperately this weekend. DCAM with the hamstring has been a full participant all week long, which is good. Hopefully we see DCAM out there getting some reps at the cornerback position with Stokes dealing with the injury. Caillou Blue struggling a little bit opposite of Stokes. Justin Shorter dealing with an illness. He did not participate Wednesday. He was limited yesterday. Michael Mayer, concussion has been limited all week long, Wednesday and Thursday. Something to monitor. He did have his, the red jersey in his pocket at practice yesterday. I seen the video surfacing of him having the non-contact jersey on. So something to monitor, but I think that they're getting closer and closer to having Mayer play. If I'm a betting man, I think that he will be playing this Sunday. Brennan Jackson, dealing with a foot injury, was limited Wednesday. He did not participate yesterday. Something to monitor. The young pup that we picked up off the waiver wire, hoping from the Rams, hoping that he'll be good to go, because we need as much help on that defensive line as possible to contain Jonathan Taylor and get to Daniel Jones and disrupt his life a little bit. And then Brock Bowers, we all know he's been dealing with that knee injury, still has the brace on. He's had that compression sleeve on his leg, was limited Wednesday. He did not participate at all yesterday in practice. Okay, so I see a lot of people freaking out right now about this. And once again, don't take my word, you guys, as gospel. Please don't. But I made a few calls and I was trying to, just reach out to whoever I could to see what this situation was. And what I heard, it was rest. That's what I heard. Now, could I be wrong? Definitely. Can the people that given me this information been totally wrong? Definitely. I don't think that anybody really knows outside of our coaching staff, Brock, and our medical team what is really truly going on with Brock. But from what I was told, it was rest yesterday. So dealing with the knee injury, he was limited the day before and Wednesday. They just chose not to play him yesterday. From what I was told, it was rest. So once again, don't quote me on it. Hopefully I'm right. They're just limiting his reps because we need him this Sunday, man. It's going to be fun to watch him and Warren, the two young, dynamic tight ends, face off in Indianapolis. So once again, I was told it was rest. I haven't seen anything else out there in terms of any updates with Brock Bowers, but something to monitor today. And we'll get a better idea of what's going on as we get closer to Sunday. So for the Colts, we'll go over there as well. Zaire Franklin, linebacker, phenomenal linebacker, dealing with an ankle injury. He did not participate Wednesday, but he was a full participant yesterday. Looks like Zaire will be able to go. Matt, is it Gonzalez, dealing with a toe injury. He was limited Wednesday. He was a full participant yesterday, so it looks like their young guard will be able to go. Tyler Goodson, the running back, dealing with a groin injury, did not participate Wednesday or Thursday. Kenny Moore, the second cornerback, Veteran dealing with an Achilles injury. He did not participate Wednesday or Thursday. Something to keep an eye on moving forward. Alec Pierce, the young wide receiver out of Cincinnati, concussion, full participant all week. He looks like he is going to go come Sunday. Daniel Scott, safety, knee injury, did not participate in practice up to this point this week. So something to monitor. What else? Tyquan Lewis, defensive end, oblique injury, did not he did participate, full participant Wednesday. Then yesterday was limited. So another guy to keep an eye on. Michael Pittman, wide receiver, hamstring, full participant Wednesday. He was limited yesterday. So something to keep an eye on right there. Pittman, the young dynamic wide receiver out there in Indianapolis. And then Grover Stewart, defensive tackle, rest. So he was a full participant Wednesday, got some rest yesterday. So looks like Grover Stewart will be able to play for those guys come Sunday as well. So there you go, you guys. Salute to my guy, S. Wipe them feet. Yes, wipe them feet, you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. I'm excited, man. I'm about to get on this flight. We got a fat-ass Airbnb in Indianapolis, and then we'll also be spending the night or two at Stu's house out there on the Purdue campus out West Lafayette. We're going to have a ball, man. And also, you guys, the following week, I will be home in Sacramento. I'm trying to work on something, potentially go out there and watch a game at a Raider bar or something. I'll keep you guys in tune. I'm always trying to go home and figure out something. I know last time it did not work. I'm going to see if my schedule, prohibits me from freeing up a few hours to try and put something together in Sacramento. So stay tuned for that as well. Let me see. Josh says Max had, was it bursitis? I don't know what that is. In his knee before, correct? Is it something that keeps reoccurring? I've had it in my hip, and teammate in high school had the knee one that keeps coming back. Well, we both know, right, Josh, that he was dealing with a knee injury last season. He dealt with an ankle injury. He's had his share of bumps and bruises these past few seasons. You never want to see Max dealing with the knee injuries, especially coming off of what he has endured this last season or two. But I don't really know the exact diagnosis. I do believe that he had a cyst. I believe that it was in his knee at one point that could have actually killed him playing through it. They said that if it would have bursted, something along the lines of it could have got in his bloodstream, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know the exact diagnosis, but something to keep an eye on, man. But hopefully Max is good to go. From what I'm hearing, he should be good to go. They're just kind of limiting him in practice. So if we don't have Max come Sunday, and then what if we don't have Brock? This is going to be a nasty Sunday afternoon for us in Indianapolis. So hopefully they're both good to go. From what I'm hearing with Brock, once again, is rest. And then with Max, I think they're just being, very smart with that knee injury, him coming off of that and the ankle injury these last few seasons. Salute to my brother Hug in the building as well. It's good to see my dog Jason as well. I'll see you at the airport here in a few hours, my brother. Salute to my dog Jason, man. Josh says, yes, an infection after. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, it can definitely get nasty for sure. Emmanuel, man, love you too, brother. Good to see you here in the chat, man. Appreciate you. Green Dot Gang is heavy. If you guys want to become Green Dot Gang, like all my guys here in the building, hit the link. It's pinned up top. Once again, it definitely helps us keep the lights on over here at OLV Raiders Network. Snake Fist, can't blame Geno's 3 picks on the O-line. This is facts. Yeah. Snake Fist, they kept him clean. Didn't get sacked once. Could you imagine going from one game where you threw 3 touchdowns and 0 picks and was sacked 5 times to being upright, clean as a whistle, but having 3 picks and not being able to get it done against the Chicago Bears? That's kind of nasty. It's kind of nasty, man. Once again, I'm a believer now, Snake. I'm a firm believer in Geno only being able to operate under duress. I think that the better the defensive line, the better Geno we're going to get. So without Colton Miller, I wouldn't be shocked if Geno Smith went out there and was running for his life and found a way to make a few plays here to get us back in the win column. I wouldn't be shocked because I really, truly believe that that Geno was better under pressure. It's weird as it is. He was upright last week and just threw a bunch of nasty picks. So to my guy, Snake Fist, Geno, get that play action going, pump fake that shit. Kenny, whatever we got to do, bro. Whatever we got to do. Joey, I'm almost positive I will. Man. We'll be up there. We'll be on the sideline for a little bit. Definitely tapped in over there, but I wouldn't be shocked if I came down with one for sure. Jacoby, we will be back next week doing the AFC West roundup. Me, Darcy, and Ben. This week I'm traveling. Darcy is traveling. He just got to Austin, Texas yesterday. We'll be back next week to bring it all back together and get the AFC West talking. So stay tuned for that. This week it just didn't work with my schedule and all the other guys. So we'll be back for sure. We've been texting in the group chat and making sure that we're locked and loaded for next week. So stay tuned. All right. Went over the Xavier Howard abruptly retiring. Went over the injury report, Raiders and the Colts. Also, man, I want to talk about this presser yesterday because, and once again, salute the Raiders Beat, my people over at Twitter and RaidersBeat.com, good people. They put an article up talking about Marshall Newhouse, the former, Raider offensive lineman, former New York Giant, talking about, the puzzling situation between JPJ, Pete Carroll, and Chip Kelly. And this is what, the former Raider offensive lineman had to say. And I'm going to give you my take on this because Chip Kelly has some interesting words that he used at the presser yesterday. This is what Marshall Newhouse had to say on the Just Win podcast Thursday night. I don't understand the rhetorical game Carroll was playing with Jackson Powers Johnson, Newhouse said. If you can believe that he's a better center than a guard, I think he's a big game-changing guard. I think outside of the mental aspect, a guard has a little bit more impact than the center because guys are lined up going the right way. I think a really good guard gives you a little bit more options as an offensive unit. We saw him flying around. Pinballing against people, just using power, aggressiveness, even on a couple of the interceptions. He made the tackle on the interception. I believe damn near all three of them, at least two for sure. So just that level of physicality. He has a little bit of Richie Incognito to him. Everybody has said that. He's just trying to be a bully. This offensive line of unit needs that, and they needed that guard. I don't understand. There's got to be something internal, which we've all been kind of talking about, that we just don't know about. Rookies, generally, you don't want to give them a job necessarily. You want them to know that it's a job to earn, especially if it's against a veteran. But JPJ is not a rookie anymore. And so I don't know who it's serving with Pete speaking like that. And then this is coming off of yesterday with Chip Kelly saying, this is talking about Jackson Powers Johnson at the presser. He's going to keep playing. He's playing his tail off. You can tell he's hungry. You can tell he wants to raise the level of the line and of the offense. He's a guy that I'm not worried about. Not worried about. Why is he competing with Alex Kappa? His energy, I think, will be contagious. But again, Pete's playing this game I don't understand. Okay, this is coming up. This is still, my apology, guys, Marshall Newhouse talking about this. But then Chip Kelly goes on to say, which is the weirdest shit in the world. Where's the actual quote? I want to find this real quick. I love JPJ, but his head's really big right now. He said jokingly and continue to say how much he loves his physicality and play style. What do you guys think he meant in terms of his head is really big right now? Do you think that he is potentially talking about coming off the concussion, maybe just dealing with a head injury and he's trying to slowly get back? Is it he's feeling himself right now because the O-line got a lot better with him in the starting lineup and he was all over the place making tackles and so on and so forth? What do you think that Chip Kelly meant by that his head is very big right now? Pause if necessary. I don't get this. I don't understand why do you have to say things like this about Jackson Powers Johnson, a guy that has went out there, put his body on the line. Yes, early on in the season, he had a few boneheaded penalties like he did last year in his rookie season. But what does that mean? What does that mean that right now he's kind of big-headed? Dan says an ego thing. Well, don't you want your players to have a little edginess, a little cockiness, a little bit of ego, to their game? I mean, once again, JPJ is a second-round guy, former Remington winner. Don't you want these guys to have a little bit of confidence? I mean, I'm assuming you want all your players to go out there and not question what they can do on the football field, right? I mean, I want all my guys to have, some type of cockiness, some type of egotistical. I mean, Maxx has it, goes out there, endless motor, just looks the part. JPJ to me looks the exact same. He looks like the Maxx Crosby of the offense. So I'm just trying to figure out what that means. Like, what does it mean? He has a big head right now. I'm just trying to figure out. Your team is better with him on the football field. What is that? I'm assuming that Chip and Pete heads are deflated at this point. Like, I'd rather have big head JPJ than deflated Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll. Like, what are you guys talking about? It seems as though something, just like Marshall Newhouse alluded to, there's probably something internal going on here, because the words that they choose to use when speaking about Jackson Powers Johnson makes absolutely no sense to me at all. It's like, do you want this kid to feel some type of pressure? It feels like he's being singled out all the damn time with the words that these guys choose to use in these pressers. It just makes absolutely no sense. I don't see these words being used, on other players in these pressers. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? It just absolutely makes no sense to me whatsoever. Sean says big head cocky is often unteachable. I don't believe that. No matter how good he is, he's still got to be coachable. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. That is leadership to the kid, in my opinion. I don't see arrogance. I've never seen JPJ go out there and say, I'm the best guard in football. I'm the best center in football. He's only said a few things on some podcasts where it was like, yo, AP, put me out there, center. I'm going out there. That's confidence. That's confidence to me. Him on, the Maxx podcast saying, I want to be a center, but I'll be whatever the words that he chose. It's confidence to me. It doesn't strike me as a player that is acting as though his shit don't stink or that he's better than everybody on the roster. It's never came off to me like that. JPJ comes off as a fun-loving, hard-fought football player that wants to win football games. Simple and plain. And for Maxx to put his arm around him, and say that we're the first two in the building, the last two out now, why is JPJ still getting singled out when the leader of your locker room, the leader of your football team, loves the energy and loves what he's bringing to the table right now? I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm putting too much thought into this. But once again, his head's a little big right now. It's kind of weird to me. It's kind of weird to me, man. You want your guys to go out there and be confident. You want your guys to have a little ego to them. You want your guys to go out there and be ball players like JPJ. It just, to me, it makes no sense. It makes no sense, because guess what? When you don't have confidence, when you don't have that kind of side to you, you can go out there and get hurt. When you're questioning yourself on the football field, that's when you get hurt. When you're questioning, your skill set, you could potentially get hurt. I would rather have my players confident than going out there and questioning what they can do on the football field. But hey, I guess that's just me. So Demando, I think JPJ is cocky and knows how good he is. He should. And Pete and Chip want him to compete. Maybe it's an ego thing. JPJ is clearly the best O-line player that we have. Facts, man. Facts. Salute to my guy Mando, man. But once again, I don't want to hear the ego thing. I don't want to hear if that, like, look, bro, all these guys, most of these guys have this. They're football players. They made it to the highest level, the highest form of football, which is the NFL. And a lot of these guys, including JPJ, early round draft pick, I think that you would have a certain level of confidence, in yourself, knowing that you came from, you played this game your entire life, and now you're a second round pick playing for the Raiders. Maybe JPJ feels like he doesn't have to compete. I don't think so, Mando. I get that he went up to Ashton and said, I'm your center. Cool. Why wouldn't he think he was? He ended the season last year as our center, right? I mean, why wouldn't he believe that he was coming into the year our center again in year two, no longer a rookie? And the O-line got better with him out there. Just make it make sense. At this point, Mando, it's like the compete word I have to question, because if it sounds like Stone Forsythe has just been given the job. Yeah, they said, Charles Grant needs to go out there and develop and get. To me, it just sounds like Stone Forsythe was awarded the starting left tackle spot once Colton Miller was out. Once again, I didn't hear a ton of competition with Parham at left guard. I didn't hear any competition with DJ Glaze at right tackle, and they said there was a competition with Jordan Meredith and JPJ. It didn't sound like that to me. It sounded like the only place that JPJ was competing for was the right guard spot. So make it make sense. You know what I mean? Salute to my guy, Snake Fist. Stop hating on JPJ. Next to Miller, he is our best offensive lineman. This is facts. Facts. Salute to my guy. Snake Fist in the building, man. So to S. Dot, my dog, on a $10 smackaroonie. And tag, it definitely feels personal for sure. For sure. JPJ knows he is the best in the interior. This is more about Chip's ego. Pete never really tripped like that as much as keeping players off the field. Chip snaps on players. S. Dot, maybe this could be a Chip Kelly situation, but the thing is, we have heard Pete speak about him a ton up to this point. Now we're really finally starting to hear a little bit more coming out of Chip Kelly at these pressers in terms of JPJ, right? I hear you, but once again, as the head coach, Pete Carroll has been the one that's been kind of putting all this JPJ shit into the universe. So once again, if it is Chip Kelly, maybe this could be that old Philadelphia Eagles Chip Kelly head, he's coming back full form here at the NFL level. Who's to say? But I'm definitely still questioning what he had, what he meant in terms of he has kind of a big head right now. It's just weird to me. Once again, I don't know what he was trying to say. I'm going to assume the best S. Dot. I'm going to say that big head means NBA Jam. He's on fire. That's how I'm gonna take it, because I'm an optimistic Raider fan, right? So I'm gonna think he's on fire. Big head NBA. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking he can't buy a bucket. I'm thinking he's on fire. That's the big hit. That's what I'm thinking about when it comes to JPJ. I'm trying to think positive here. Hopefully, that's what he meant. True Raider podcast. Boom shakalaka. There you go, man. There you go. When I used to use the Sacramento Kings with Mitch Richmond and Spud Webb. Nasty work. Nasty work. Or the Charlotte Hornets with LJ and Alonzo Mourning. Graphk, I see other content creators crying about the Chip Kelly said in the presser. What are your thoughts? I just kind of gave it, Sam. My apologies. I think I just read this late, brother. But I kind of gave my take on it already. The pressers, you got to always take. Yeah, I mean, Isaiah, I know that. And Sizzle, he could have been joking and been sarcastic. This is for sure. But once again, when we're already a very passionate fan base and we're already questioning what this regime has, like how they feel about JPJ, it feels at this point like they're kind of playing into it now. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of in like protection mode for JPJ, because it feels like nobody else out there is trying to question what the hell is going on with Jackson Powers Johnson. We're kind of in protection mode as a fan base because we know how good JPJ can be. So when you keep saying he needs to compete for this, or okay, he earned another start this week and blah. It's like, bro, like why would you say something like that then if we're already on edge here with one of our better players in Jackson Powers Johnson? So, but hey, it is what it is. Look, I'm going to stay in protection mode for JPJ because I believe in him. And when he's not injured, when he's not dealing with a concussion or anything like that, he's one of the better offensive linemen in football to me. Simple and plain. It is what it is. If you can limit those limit those flags, those penalties, we might be on to something here with JPJ here in the near future. They just need to keep him on the football field. Simple and plain. J-Row, come on, man. Salute to my guy, Row, in the building. Omni, you got to relax, King. You got to relax. Pause. Big pause. Nasty work. So Demando, at this point, he might be traded this offseason. That'd be organizational malpractice to move Jackson Powers Johnson. And honestly, at this point, if they're going to continue to play with this man's development and continue to kind of play with his name, so to speak, and keep referring to him as competing for right guard over the worst guard in football and Alex Kappa, look, let's just say they did flirt with the idea of moving him. At this point, I think JPJ would be like, get me the hell out of here. Like, send me somewhere that's going to take advantage of me and have me on the football field and be one of those sparks, one of those foundational pieces, force someone else's O-line, because JPJ is that. I don't understand how they're not looking at him as like a foundational piece on this O-line. He's the only one competing when Parham is struggling, when Jordan Meredith has had his struggles up to this point. DJ Glaze has had his struggles at right tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like, Colton's out now with the hairline fracture, in his ankle. Like, this has kind of been the only guy. Yeah, he's dealt with some, he's had some penalties and stuff early on. And he definitely has to clean that up. But the kid is a phenomenal football player, and he's a foundational piece for your O-line. Like, if we didn't have JPJ, you guys, we would all look at this O-line differently. Like, we'd probably be like, this is one of the worst O-line, and mind you, it still has been, like, especially when JPJ wasn't in the lineup. I'm like, this is one of the worst O-lines in football outside of Colt Miller at left tackle. When you get JPJ out there, it just kind of feels like at least we have a serviceable O-line with what we have out there. Am I wrong for feeling like that, you guys? Do you feel that same way? It's like when JPJ is out there on that O-line, I feel like we're just going to have a better product on the football field. Genty's going to be able to run the football. Geno will be protected a lot more. And the offense just looks different with him out there. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And it's clear. You look at the tape and you see what's going on, and you're like, the offense is definitely gelling a lot more with JPJ out there, setting the tone at right guard. So, yeah, and that's the best way to say it, brother. JPJ is literally plugging the bleeding. Definitely. It's like getting shot and tying this shit around and just holding it off until the ambulance gets there, right? Facts. That's how the O-line feels with JPJ out there. Definitely. It's like, we're just holding on. At least, we're still holding on. Without him, it's like, oh my God, Geno, 5 sacks on the ground a ton. Nasty work. Pedro says, how do you know they are coaching him hard to get most potential out of him? I mean, okay, that's cool. But why are we not hearing that about second-year right tackle DJ Glaze, third-round pick out of Maryland? Why are we not hearing that in a contract year with Dylan Parham? Why are we not hearing, that any of this stuff surrounding Jordan Meredith at the center position, his first time playing the position? That's the only issue that I have, right? Is why are they not doing, if it's just hard coaching on him, why is it not all across the board? All we're hearing coming out of Henderson is the JPJ shit. You don't hear a ton about Glaze at right tackle. You don't hear a ton about Jordan Meredith at center or Dylan Parham at left guard. It's just all surrounding JPJ. So, is what it is. Ace says DJ Glaze doesn't have the same mental issues. Guys, this is simply coaching. I like DJ Glaze. You guys know this, Ace. I'm a fan of DJ Glaze. I think that he could be, our right tackle of the future. I definitely love his game. He's had some ups and downs this season. But, honestly, so we're just going to assume that JPJ has mental issues? Is it because he goes out there and tackles defenders when Geno's out there throwing ducks? Why are we in this boat now of JPJ having mental issues? Because he goes out there and plays like a maniac? Is that why? To me, this is how you want your players to play football. You want them to go out there and play hard-nosed football. I don't think that it's mental issues. I think that he's told you his story before, Ace, right? That, he used to get picked on when he was younger. And when he got to play football, he got the bullying guys around, and that's why he got into football, because he used to be bullied. That, to me, that's just how it looks to me. It looks like that's the way he goes about his game. Like, he is still getting bullied. And it sounds like shit, potentially his coaching staff is kind of low-key still bullying him around, which is crazy. Mario, no, I am not. I'm a Sacramento Kings fan. Diehard Sacramento Kings fan. And it's knocked off at least 10 years of my life. Yeah. So, but I enjoyed watching those early Golden State Warriors teams. Mitch Richmond, The Rock, and Webb, and all those guys, Chris Mullin, Tim Hardaway. I used to watch all those old school Golden State teams, the Jason Richardson teams. I remember all those teams. But I'm a Kings fan, which is nasty work. Pete fell out With the Legion of Boom, when they believed in themselves and they demanded money, Chip made his name of getting rid of talented, confident players. I feel you, Graphk. You're not alone. Salute to my guy, Big Lil Bosco. And this is coming from, I believe Bosco's talking about the time in Philly, Deshaun Jackson, McCoy, they got Shady out of there, definitely. And then, once again in Seattle, Pete and those guys drafted really well. And then Richard Sherman, all these guys, contracts starting coming up. I hear you, Bosco. Salute to my guy, man. Appreciate you, brother. Salute to my guy, Johnny Wade, my boy. I think Chip and Pete were offended JPJ told them he was the center. They're making a BS point. But why? And it's not like he told them he was the center. He told Ashton Genty he was the center. And let's just say he was the backup center. Let's just say that JPJ was the backup center. And he still said, I'm your center. I mean, technically, he's still a center, right? Like, it's not like he went out there and said, yo, I'm your starting center. I'm going to be the guy that's going to set the tone up front on this O-line for you. We're going to continue, what you did at Boise State at the next level because I am your guy. I'm your enforcer at center. I never heard him go out there and say any of this shit like that. He just said, I'm your center. I didn't see anything wrong with the way he approached Ashton Genty. I actually loved it. Yeah, man. JPJ has every right to have a big head. Pause. Dude is a force to be reckoned with. Yes. Salute. Silver and Fat. This is correct, bro. Notre Dame fan, Kings fan, A's fan, Raiders fan. Yes, man. This is a reason why my favorite word is fuck. You know what I mean? Like, second favorite word is shit. Third favorite word is bitch. Because of the fact that I love those teams. It's just nasty work. It's just nasty work. Salute to J-Row. The whole he can't make the calls thing to me seems ridiculous. JPJ comes across to me like a very intelligent young man. This is facts, bro. I don't want to buy. I'm not buying any of that. I'm not buying any of that at all. J-Row. Facts, my brother. Salute to you on the $5 special. Wade says Chip's ego was big. Yep. Facts. Coming off of a national championship, too, out there with Ohio State, the highest paid offensive coordinator in football, $6 million per. He's probably definitely feeling himself a little bit, but they better get that. Look, at least put a product out there that you could be egotistical about. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how about you find a way to limit the turnovers with Geno? How about you find a way to unlock Ashton Genty and make sure that he goes over 100 this Sunday and continues that trajectory on? How about you find a way to get the football in some of your playmakers' hands, and Brock and Dante Thornton and those guys? If you want to have an ego chip, give us a reason, to kind of, feed your ego, so to speak. Give us something to be proud about on the offensive side of the football, because right now it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like that at all. Salute to Heat Check. How healthy do you think Brock Bowers is, percentage-wise? I'll say, knee injuries, man. Honestly, Heat Check, are you ever really – it's going to take time. It's going to take time. He's still in a brace. Until he's out of that brace, even when he's out of it, initially I'd say 90%. I think right now he's probably somewhere in that 70 to 75 range. He was held out of practice yesterday from what I was told. It was rest. So, God forbid there was any setback with the knee injury, but I'll say 70, 75. But the cool thing is Heat Check, a 70, 75% Brock Bowers is still probably better than damn near every tight end in football. And there's a reason why, since the knee injury, he's still like third or fourth, I believe, in receiving yards at the tight end position, even though he's not playing at the high standard that we're accustomed to. And it was so crazy, as I believe in the first 4 weeks, I think that Brock has more yards this season that he started off last season as a rookie. A not so good Brock Bowers is still great at the NFL level. He's still playing like the best tight end in football, even with the knee injury. I think Geno needs to look his way a little bit more. He needs more targets. Sunday, I definitely want to see him in the mix, get him 10 plus targets. You want to limit your turnovers, Geno? Throw the football to Brock Bowers. You threw one, looking his way, against the who was it? The New England Patriots, week 1. If you want to find a way to limit those turnovers, go find Brock. Find Brock. So, but Heat Check, what I'm hearing, brother, is that they rested him yesterday, and that he's getting slowly but surely closer to being 100%. Now, once again, could there have been a setback behind the scenes? Definitely, that I'm not privy to. But from what I was told, it looks like a rest day for Brock Bowers. Bosco, Gruden won his case against the NFL. Mark fired Del Rio for less. Uncle Pete better check that ego. Might not make it. If we don't win, this fan base will turn on him. Oh, they're already turning on him. They're already turning on him, Bosco. I've seen people already, and people have sent me videos of other creators and all kind of shit saying, fire Pete. Look, dog, we're 4 weeks in, bro. This is the probably the winningest coach that we've ever had, in the silver and black. Do I question some of the shit that Pete Carroll does, the JPJ stuff and some other things, Zamir White, playing over Raheem Mostert? Definitely. I have some questions surrounding with some of the decisions that Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly has made up to this point. But once again, he is still probably the most winningest coach that we've ever had. He's won at every level. So I'm still giving Pete a little bit. I think his leash is a lot longer than other guys, that have been here in recent memory. So I'm not jumping the gun yet. I'm questioning some of the moves that he's made. In the offseason, I was excited seeing Spytek be the GM, him naming Chip Kelly as OC, bringing Patrick Graham back, keeping Rob Leonard in the mix. I like Pete Carroll, and I'm going to give him more time. It's just I want to see more results. I want to see more I want to see us be more competitive. We can't continue to lose games like the Commanders and Chargers game. The Bears game was a heartbreaker, but at least we were in it until the end. Geno was the one that went out there and lost that ball game for us. You know what I mean? So, but just be competitive. That's it, man. I'm not expecting Pete to come in year one and go 4-0 in the first quarter of the season. I never thought that was going to happen. Am I questioning 1-3? Yes, because I'm a Raider fan, but also realistically, I think a lot of people had us at this point, up to this point, was 1-3. I think I had us at 2-2. I believe I did, because I had us beating the Chargers once this year and losing to them once. I think beating them at home and losing at SoFi. So I think I had us at 2-2 originally. That Bears game sucks, but got to find a way to bounce back from it. Yeah, but salute to Gruden, man. Look, man, he looks as though he's going to get his discovery and all that good stuff and potentially put the NFL on their ass. Salute to Heat Check. Colts last game versus the Rams. I saw Puka had over 100+ yards. Big Trey Tuck game Sunday. We shall see. Heat Check. The thing is this, man. Tucker is not he is not Puka. Simple and plain. He's not Puka. So, but I would love to see it. I would love to see it. You guys, I got to get out of here real quick. I have a teledoc appointment here in 1 minute, and my lift will be here in about 10 minutes. So once again, I told you guys to be a short live, but we will be live all weekend long, you guys. Maybe another one tonight. Tomorrow for sure with me, Stu, and B. We'll do one Sunday, and then we'll do one Monday, whether it's a victory Monday or a hangover Monday. We'll be locked and loaded the entire time. So I got to get this teledoc. It starts in literally 1 minute. Salute the trip. Raiders haven't drafted a first-round quarterback since 2008. In your opinion, is that a good strategy? It's definitely not, Trip. You got to draft quarterbacks until you find one. Simple and plain. You can't go get one in the 4th round, in the 6th round, in the 5th round. If you want to find your quarterback of the future and stop doing this whole middle-of-the-pack bridge quarterback shit constantly, you need to draft one until you find one. So I'm all for getting one in the 1st round, 2nd round, every single year until you find your guy. The Raiders have definitely fumbled the bag in terms of locating a quarterback in the draft. Moving forward, get one every year until you find your quarterback. But other than that, man, love, appreciate you guys. I will see you, if not tonight, tomorrow. So stay tuned. Love. One.